Hey, today we're on Route 66 in Tucumcari, New Mexico. This is Route 66 right here, called Tucumcari Boulevard. We're headed westbound to the town of Montoya. And the road to Montoya is probably more fun than the actual town. So we're going to take you on the old Route 66 tour down to Montoya from Tucumcari. On the left here is our little visitor center, welcome area. We got the Route 66 little monument there. See that little Route 66 with flames coming out? So Route 66 originally headed straight right here over the railroad tracks, but you can't do that today. You need to veer to the left. It's a Red Lodge Motel right here. We looked at that yesterday. Up ahead's the Tucumcari trading post. We're gonna hang a right here to the old Route 66. Here's the Tucumcari trading post, and way up ahead's called the Paradise Motel. Huge place. It's all thrashed and broken down right now, but you turn right here. We're gonna head on to old Route 66. Across the railroad tracks. Make sure it's all nice and safe. Used to be the Rock Island Railroad here, right? And this here is Route 66 on the left. Right here at John's Truck Service. There we go. Today's called QR 62.9. Well, this is it. So this is our 1926 road. And there's nothing here except some houses and a couple farms. A lot of fencing going on. On the left out here, that's our newer road. That was 1930 when this road here was cut off. So it's only Route 66 for 4 years. And also there's our railroad tracks there as well, so it follows the tracks right on the north side. This road continues just as gravelly dirt road for a few miles, and then it merges back onto the 1930 road, and then it merges back off again on the way to Montoya. Nothing to see. There's an old house there, and what's left of a windmill, and some cows, some bulls. So we continue westbound here. And I don't think this road was ever paved. I think it's always dirt and then gravel. See on the left here and the right, there's no curbs. So it's just a straight little road here. But straight ahead here, maybe you'll notice, here we go straight ahead. I'm not sure you can. Well, I'm gonna get out of the car and take a little walk. Now we came down Route 66 this way, and it veers out to the 1930 road, but look at that underpass. It's only 9 feet 6 inches. So you probably barely get through there. That's why nobody goes down this road. But if you went straight on this road here, this is Route 66. Isn't that just amazing? Gorgeous. It heads right up here by the railroad tracks. It's all packed dirt and gravel. No curbs. Anyway, I think it extended a little further out this way, but it's pretty narrow. We got a lot of mesquites here, little sunflowers. Here's our railroad tracks. And right here, little ranch. Yeah, so here's the end of the line. It's all blocked off, so you can't drive it today. We have a chair. Beautiful railroad tracks. We're going to go back under the highway to the other side. Here we go, under the 9 foot 6 inch underpass here. A little hazy. It's really bumpy, but it's pretty fun. And right up on the top of the hill is the 1930 alignment. If you go to the left, you hit an old abandoned Shell station. Right there. You know what? Why don't we go up there and take a look, because it's just right there. And further up is the Paradise Motel. And this is the new 1930 alignment. So we have our food mart here and our old abandoned Shell stations. Yeah, this place here is a Shell superstation. Big canopies, all abandoned. All that there. Underground storage tanks taken out. You see the monitoring well. That's probably for contamination underground. But I'm going to make a whole different video for this guy because he's pretty big. And we'll continue down to Montoya. So after leaving the Shell, headed back westbound. That was our bridge. And this road to the left, that goes to Interstate 40. You want to hang a right here and go straight. And this continues on our 1930s Route 66 road here. So it's just a 2-lane road. Today it's got asphalt on it. And I'm sure it was paved back in the 1930s before Interstate 40 came by. On our right, that's the railroad. And up here on the right, you can see this big mound of dirt. Okay, we're gonna cut off here because that's another part of Route 66. Right here, see, the road goes to the left, but the railroad headed out here to the right over this little mound of dirt. Hey, we got our mound of dirt, but if you're really inclined, you could take this little side road up here to check out the road like we have today. So we have the railroad tracks. On the other side of the tracks, right over there, that's our 1926 road. See that way up there? That's the 1926 alignment, that dirt road right there on the tracks. But you can't drive this here anymore, of course. But you can drop your mattresses and an old chair. That's pretty neat. So we'd have to go over a bridge here. On the other side, it's not here anymore, and we got the train trestles right here. We're gonna head back under the interstate, what's called the 1950s alignment of Route 66. Now we leave our 1930s road, and this is called the 1950s Route 66 road. So it's a whole bunch of zigzagging, 1926, 1930s, 1950s, and then we have Interstate 40. But up ahead is going to be a bridge. It's called the Blue Water Creek Bridge. This here is built in 1950. It's a 3-span steel stringer bridge right over here. And that's Blue Water Creek right down there. Here's our 1950 stringer bridge right down here. That's Blue Water Creek. And way up here is the railroad tracks, you see. On the other side of the tracks is that 1926 road with a big heap of dirt. We walked around, and that 1926 road hits a washed out bridge over the creek. And then it comes down this way if you got over to the bridge, merges onto the 1930s road, and right up there in the bushes is a big giant abutment. You can't see it today. And then that road merges to 1930s road, and it continues this way till it merges on the 1950 alignment. Hey, we have a tarantula right in the middle of the road there on Route 66. He's crossing, so I hope we don't run him over. Look at that guy. He's just cruising across. Anyway, we're going to head up on our 1950s road here without squishing our tarantula. And as a landmark, see that little golf course sign? Well, you want to pass that. And up ahead, if you turn left, you're not going to do that, but that's called 5 Mile Park Road. That takes you under Interstate 40 to the other side. We'll return here after we explore a little more up here on this road, which is our 1950s Route 66 straight ahead. Don't take that yet. We'll come back to that later. You see a big mound of rubble up here? All right, this is where our 1926 road comes in at this rubble here, and it merges back to our 1930s, 1950s road we have right here. So we're going to take this kind of all the way to the end. I'll show you what happens if you stay on the true Route 66 out here on the way to Montoya. Now we head up here on our 1950s alignment, which is also the 1926, 1930s alignment. And you're going to hit a little dead end here. It's a little loop-de-loop. Takes you back to 5 Mile Park Road. And out here is Interstate 40, right out there.
You want to look over?
And that's our old road. right there, but you can't do that anymore. So we'll continue back. So here's the 5 Mile Park Road, and that heads under Interstate 40, but there's nothing down there. So in order to get to Montoya, you have to head all the way back to Blue Water Creek, and then pass it, and then make a right-hand turn to the on-ramp for Interstate 40. We take that up a few miles. Headed eastbound, you come to this little turn here, right by the abandoned Shell truck stop. Get on Interstate 40, we're going to go westbound towards Albuquerque. So we take the off-ramp here, 321, to Palomas. We're going to head south or left. Now cross over Interstate 40, and right ahead we have our Route 66 again, right here. Historic Route 66. This will take us down to the ghost town of Montoya, then out to Curvo, New Mexico. Now if you hang a left here, it'll dead end at Blanco Creek. On private property, there's a washed out bridge. So we're gonna head eastbound a little bit on Route 66 up to a place called Blanco Creek. There's a cool bridge there. It's our old alignment, 1926. And this whole area is called Clet Ranch. It's all private property. And it looks like there's a gate there, so I don't think you can get through. But continue farther, about 2 miles, you come to a little bridge in the road. It's called the Blanco Creek Bridge, built in 1936. It's a steel stringer with concrete guardrails, but it's all closed off. It's called Cattle Company, so we're going to head back down to Montoya. Here we're back on Route 66 here. This is the frontage road. On the right, that's Interstate 40. So right about here at this turn, Route 66 actually crossed over, but Interstate 40 destroyed it, so they had to build this little tunnel to go underneath Route 66. It's super cool. Here's our little bypass tunnel, they call it, and that's called the Old Route 66 Underpass. A little creepy. Kind of looks like one of those golf course underpasses. Hey, goodness. This is a little bit east of Moriarty, or Montoya, sorry. Anyway, that's pretty neat. Above us is the westbound lanes of Route 66, and here's the railroad tracks. We're going to head left, and then we're going to be right on our 1926 road again. So now we're on the north frontage road. This here is Interstate 40. And this takes us down to the Montoya Cemetery. And all along here we got these culverts and all sorts of bridges and tunnels, because these used to all get washed out. Uh-oh. We have a little flood right in the middle of Route 66, but there's a little bypass road here. And hopefully this jogs along around our little flood, so...
Looks like it does.
Be careful, don't get stuck in the mud.
Looks like the road collapsed right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad experience. So we're going to take this little bumpy dirt road. If you got these big RV trailers, I don't recommend it. There's a little culvert crossing right there. Oh my goodness. So we're going to head up here. We're going to find a old concrete barrier bridge. Hey, this is really neat. This is our Route 66. We're going to see a series of these old bridges here. Built in 1936. Steel stringer. These concrete little barriers and guardrails on the edges with beautiful sunflowers too. It's all asphalt on top right now. Little underpasses for the highway. It all gets flooded out down there. Anyway, I just love these old concrete guardrails and barriers. Anyway, see our plaque right here. Built in 1936, safe load, 15 tons. So we have 3 of these along our little road, parallels railroad tracks right here. And out here a few miles is the cemetery. Well, we're here in a quandary. Is there a washed out road here? I think it looks pretty deep. On the other side, that little bypass road at dead end, so we had to turn around. And I'll show you if I throw a rock in there. Oh yeah. That's not gonna be able to pass. It's gotta be probably 2 feet at the edge right there. So we're gonna have to head back, get back on Interstate 40, figure out how to get down to Montoya. All right, so that was kind of a bummer. We had to head back about 15 miles from that washed out road back to Palomas at Colette Ranch and hop on I-40 westbound. Here we are on our westbound, and on the right, that's old Route 66 we were just on, and right down there, right there, it's where it flooded out. See that little bypass road we were on? This mound of dirt at the end, and right down here is it all flooded out. I'll show you where the bridge is. See right down there. Anyway, well, good news. We made it to Montoya. Up here about 5 miles was that washed out area. We had to go around, hop on Interstate 40, exit 311, come out here to Montoya, and there's 3 bridges here. I showed you the first one. Here's another one. But we're going to walk into the cemetery and out to Richardson's store along our beautiful Route 66 here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.